Did you know that Donald Trump, the man known for his golden towers, once had a run-in with a bald eagle? Yes, you heard that right. The former president, the man of many hats and even more controversies, found himself at odds with America's feathered symbol of freedom. Let's rewind a bit to Trump's early days. We're talking about a time when Trump was just a young man with a head full of dreams and a heart full of ambition. Born and raised in Queens, New York, Trump was the fourth child of five and perhaps the most audacious of the lot. He was always a handful, a charismatic character who knew how to make his presence felt. In his youth, Trump was not the polished businessman you see today. He had his fair share of entrepreneurial hiccups and missteps. But it was during one of these early ventures that Trump had his unforgettable encounter with the bald eagle. He was in the midst of a promotional photo shoot for one of his projects when an American bald eagle was brought in to add some patriotic flair. The eagle, however, seemed to have its own agenda. It swooped down, aiming not for the fish in the handler's hand, but for Trump's trademark hairdo. The scene was straight out of an episode of America's Funniest Home Videos, with Trump ducking and dodging, his infamous hair barely escaping the bird's talons. Now we could spend hours debating whether the eagle was making a political statement or if it simply had a distaste for unusual hairdos. But one thing's for sure, that day the symbol of American freedom seemed to have a personal vendetta against America's future president. So there you have it, a glimpse into the early life of Donald Trump, complete with hair-raising encounters and feisty bald eagles. Just another day in the life of a man who would later become one of the most talked-about figures in the world. And that, my friends, is how America's symbol of freedom met America's symbol of, well, something else. From real estate mogul to reality TV star, Trump never missed a chance to entertain or to fire someone. Now let's take a gander at the golden era of Trump's television reign, where he donned the suit of a reality TV star. And boy, did he wear it with flair. It was on the set of a little show called The Apprentice, where Trump took center stage, and the world of television was never the same again. The show was a spectacle, a business-themed reality game show with Trump at the helm, playing the role of judge, jury, and executioner. The contestants were eager beavers, trying to make their mark in the business world, but the real star was Trump and his now infamous catchphrase, yes, you guessed it, "You're fired." Those two words would echo through the boardroom, sending chills down contestants' spines. It was a phrase that could make grown men and women quake in their boots, a phrase that could turn dreams into dust. But there was something oddly entertaining about it. It was like a train wreck you couldn't look away from. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a bit of drama? Oh, the firings! They were as unpredictable as they were dramatic. There was that time when he fired someone for bringing him the wrong kind of Diet Coke. Or that other time when a contestant was fired for, and I quote, just not being interesting enough. Talk about a tough crowd. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. Trump's on-screen antics were a source of endless amusement. His outrageous firings and off-the-cuff remarks kept audiences on the edge of their seats week after week. It was a wild ride, and we were all just along for the trip. And through it all, Trump remained Trump. Unapologetically brash, unashamedly outspoken, and undeniably entertaining. And just like that, Trump turned two words into a national catchphrase. But hey, at least he was consistent. When the news broke that Trump was running for president, the world thought it was another reality TV stunt. Oh, how wrong we were. Let's rewind to that fateful day when Trump, with a wave of his hand and a flourish of his coiffed hair, descended that now infamous escalator. The world watched, half in amusement, half in disbelief, as he announced his intention to run for the highest office of the land. It was like watching a billionaire play a high-stakes game of Monopoly. But the property in question was not Boardwalk or Park Place, it was the White House itself. His campaign trail was, to say the least, a roller coaster ride of epic proportions. Each debate performance was a spectacle, a blend of off-the-cuff remarks, zingers, and yes, a fair share of gaffes. It was a reality show on steroids, and whether you loved him or loathed him, you couldn't help but tune in for the next episode. There were moments that left us chuckling, like when he referred to his opponent as such a nasty woman, or when he assured the nation that there was no problem with the size of his hands. And then there were moments that left us scratching our heads, like when he suggested building a wall and making another country pay for it. But amidst the laughter and the confusion, something unexpected was happening. Trump's unconventional approach, his brash style, his refusal to play by the political rulebook was resonating with a significant portion of the electorate. The political pundits were left scratching their heads, their predictions crumbling like a house of cards. And then it happened. The votes were cast, the results were in, and the world watched in stunned silence as the underdog emerged victorious. The real estate mogul, the reality TV star, the man who once fired Gary Busey on national television, was now the 45th president of the United States. And then, against all odds, the host of The Apprentice found himself in the biggest apprenticeship of all, the presidency. Trump's presidency was marked by many things, but let's not forget the Trumpisms that left us all scratching our heads. Now, if you're wondering, what's a Trumpism? Well, it's a unique linguistic concoction stirred up by Donald Trump himself. One of the most memorable and gigglesome Trumpisms has to be "Covfefe." Do you remember that one? A midnight tweet, a random string of letters, and the world was left to decipher what "Covfefe" meant. Then there's "Bigly." The debates about whether he said "bigly" or "big league." It was a linguistic puzzle that had everyone talking. These gaffes, these Trumpisms, they're part of the humor that came with the Trump presidency. They were unexpected, often perplexing, but always entertaining. They say that language is a reflection of the mind, and if that's true, then Trump's mind is surely one fascinating place. From "Covfefe" to "bigly," Trump certainly had a way with words. From real estate to reality TV, from the White House to Trumpisms, Donald Trump's life has been anything but ordinary. Let's take a moment to revisit our tour through this tower of hilarity. Remember when he built an empire from nothing but a small loan of $1 million, or when he transformed "you're fired" from a phrase of dread to a catchphrase of comic relief? And who could forget his unexpected journey from the glitzy world of reality TV to the corridors of political power? Or his knack for creating memorable gaffes, turning any situation into a comedy sketch? Yes, Donald Trump's life has been a roller coaster ride of unpredictable moments filled with towering ambitions, audacious firings, unexpected journeys, and a whole lot of Trumpisms. And that, folks, is the roller coaster ride of Donald Trump's life. A journey full of towers, eagles, firings, escalators, and a whole lot of Trumpisms. Who knows what he'll do next?